Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, last turn. Wow. Wow. I mean, I feel quite vindicated because we did guess correctly one of the moves he'd actually make, and that was the bombardment. Now, frankly, it's not as bad as it first seems. It is bad because as we had the ships lost, we had obviously the aircraft knocked out. Not great. It seems that we did everything that we could. I don't think there was anything else we could have possibly done. Not without having, like, hindsight. It's one of those of, like, obviously if we'd known he was going to come to the battle, I could have deployed forces too late, to potentially have, like, a counterattack from a secondary base. But then this is it, isn't it, really? It's one of those of, like, you only think, Shiza, I could have done that, but you don't know. There was a good opportunity. There was a good chance that he could have gone elsewhere. He might have potentially, like, thought, okay, I'm not liking this, I don't know what Kidabazai is. But he's definitely a different caliber of player. He's very aggressive, and, well, this is it. He's not daft in how he moves. So, yeah, we got the short end of the stick. Now, we do have a rough idea of how we can actually respond here. And that is going to entail a risky maneuver. I'm not going to go into the details of it, because then if it doesn't work out, I've got plausible deniability. That's one way to put it. And there's only one thing left to do here, really, is just take a look at the actual carrier settings. Now, we've got them 50-50 at the moment. And I think that's how we're going to go, really. See, the thing is, Rubal may very well be repaired enough to launch a strike during the next turn. That is a possibility there, really. The reason why we're fairly hopeful is we have 243 engineers, 12 engineering vehicles. We should, in theory, have more engineers and more of a more capable repair than Singapore does. Now, Singapore obviously didn't come under such a bombardment, but what we need to do is actually get the airfield into a semi-workable condition. So we don't have to completely repair it, but if we could try to get it decently done. The issue is the runway there, but we might have a good shot at repairing that. We may have a very good shot at repairing at least a good chunk of it. There is a hope, there is an actual hope that we might be able to use some of our aircraft over here for another strike, which would be quite nice. We're still going to run that camp. Who knows, if we can, we will. If we can't, we can't. And that's the way it's going to go, really. I did contemplate actually transferring these aircraft out. The issue is you might suffer more losses due to the fact that the airfield is damaged, and there's every chance that he doesn't actually bombard it, because he did spend a lot of munitions. If he does bombard it a second time, we may have a shot at actually sinking something, so I don't know if he will do it. So I think we're going to just try and sit tight there and hope for the best. We do have the mines, as dangerous as they are, apparently. I don't know if they've been activated, I don't know if they've been revealed to him. I don't know how the hell he got past all of them without a single mine being activated or anything of that nature. But frankly, oh well. This is why we're playing this game. I think we had an unfortunate result, because I think everything we did wasn't wrong. I just think he got, well, he had good rolls on his side, but it seems, really. I mean, the less said about the destroyers, the better. Suffice to say, I'm rather underwhelmed by the performance of our destroyers so far. Rather underwhelmed. But I tell you what, who's going to win the MVP here is the light cruiser Naga. Nagara. She's taken 7,000 pounds of bombs. She's been hit 7 times. And she's only had these 25s knocked out. That might be an improvement. I mean, she's actually got less fire damage than she did last turn. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I thought, yep, she's got her, but no, she's holding on pretty well now. She still has her torpedoes as well. We still have Katakami with her torpedoes. He may very well come in here with a second air attack, which is a good possibility, I imagine. But it's also one of those things that actually does work to our benefit to a degree, really. We also do have over here, we do have Iceycrome, Hamikaze. Hamikaze does have a lot of fire. She may go down, she may not go down. We'll see about that one. I'm willing to take a bit of a risk on that one. Because it is a Kigiro. She might go down. If she goes down, she goes down. If she doesn't, well, we'll try and save her, really. So I wouldn't like to lose more than I've lost already. The fortunate thing is we still have the 2 AKs over here that actually do... Well, that one's heading out there, that actually do have supply. So we're going to dock them up and have them unload, and then they'll disband into the port once they're done there. So ideally we can get that done pretty quick. The port is actually not heavily damaged, it's only 14%, so it's not heavily damaged really. So that's the best case scenario for us. Ideally the mines work. I don't think it's got much left in terms of ammunition. I mean, the sheer amount of ammunition the bloody arse had is incredible, to be honest. I'm really quite impressed by that. But we did see at the end that he was down to shooting, well, firing off his AA ammunition. So that could work to our advantage. The rough idea of what we're going with is we're going to have carriers move to a rough position in this area, roughly about here. Who knows if things go wrong? I didn't say that. It could go wrong. It could go badly. But we do have to hope. I think it's one of these things of there's only one thing worse than doing the wrong thing, and that's doing nothing. If it costs us fuel and he leaves the area, then so be it. We'll have Kidapati remain in the area to secure the area. Secure the area, build up the area, finish it, and really make sure nothing like this can happen again. It's been a difficult old situation, really, because we haven't had we haven't really had that much time of where we haven't been in some way disturbed, really. And it's difficult because there has been a number of times where we didn't find ourselves attacked by carriers, but then the issue is it was always looming over our heads at any time. And that's the difficult part here. But I mean, in future games, obviously what I'll do then is take this airfield over here and actually build that airfield up immediately, build Kavieng up immediately. There's other air bases over here that we can build up. And this is it. It's a learning game. And I tell you what, we are having to learn some really harsh lessons here against Adman. It is really tested. He's definitely a good player. But then again, this is it. He is having to... Well, he's playing as a defender. He has all of these actual facilities over here that are ready to go. He is taking risks. He has been aggressive, but then again, it's one of the things of, well, there's only so much that we can do against a very large amount of USN warships. He's got the 3 carriers there. He's got the warships there. It's pretty damn tough. It's a difficult task at really the best of times, really. The earlier on it is, the harder it is for us to a degree, but, well, we'll see. We haven't lost that much. We didn't lose many pilots. I think we had 2 wounded in action, 2 killed in action. So the wounded in action may actually return in the future. Killed in action while they're dead. That was not going to return in anything else but a memorial, really. But yeah, we'll take it as it comes. And I'm going to go ahead and just double check the carrier settings over here once again. So let's see. I'm going to go with the dive bombers then. I'm going to actually have the valves, instead of doing the actual search, I'm going to have them just run a little bit of ASW there. I think that's enough, really. Just go about 10% on each. In fairness, I could just essentially have them set up, like so. We'll go 20%. Or do I? And we'll go 10% then, just to make sure that we have something available for us. Have that little bit of ASW there should help us out. They're not long range enough to actually be worthwhile on search, so that's fine. What we're going to do over here then is actually have everything set to 9. The reason being, so I'm going to have all the B5 and 2K set to 9 here. The reason being, even at 9 we might still be able to strike out. I don't know if we are able to strike out at 9. I can't remember what the rules are regarding carriers. But we might actually have like the carriers move towards each other. So if we have the maximum amount of range enabled, then we might get lucky. Even on reduced, they're still kind of 250 kilogram bombs. So who knows what we might find there, really. You gotta hope for the best. Even in the worst of times, you gotta hope for the best. So we'll go with that then. So I'm going to make sure that the zeros are set up for that range. That'd be embarrassing if they weren't. Right, I'm going to enable drop tanks actually. That'd be easier. Plus their range of 14. Obviously they're not going to fly 14, but they have the drop tanks. That increases their normal radius to 11 then, so they've got no problem. No problemo at all. But what I will do is reduce it down to 9 just to make sure that nobody's flying in anything other than what we want. We don't want to have like a cat bleed or something of that nature, really. Not that I think that would happen, but we're going to try to eliminate any sorts of potential possibilities, really. Okay. Yeah, the reason why we're going for 50-50 cap as well is it seems really likely that he is going to, in fact, have his carriers pretty damn well covered by cap. So that's to be expected. I'm going to have the actual float planes here run 100% search just to try and get as much information as we can there. Now, we do have things set up, so we do have an ASW task force which is going to be leading here. So that is Task Force 123, we're falling 123. We do have Karga, who's going to be following on behind. The reason why we're having Karga separate alongside Hiei and the other destroyers here is because they're not fast enough to keep up, but it allows us to actually have a... well, we still have Karga in the area. Obviously, there's a case of, well, is she going to be useful? I'm actually going to have her on 14, and then she might potentially be able to help in other cases. Who knows? Have them fly 20%. Like so. Range 9, there we go. Yeah. She's not fast enough to keep up. She'll end up falling behind the main carrier group, but at least then she could be in the area to potentially help us out. Who knows, really? It might work out badly, it might work out well. I think we want to try and get as much force in the area as we possibly can, just on the off chance it does work for us, really. We also do then have the force over here. I'm going to have them remain. Well, actually, remain on station I think is probably a good idea. I'd have them retirement allowed, but we don't want to have them reacting anyway. So we'll keep them remain on station. We're going to have Tone, Chikuma, Ashigara over here. I love the Tone class. Absolutely freaking adore the Tone class. So I would be personally upset if they're gone, to be honest, because I do freaking love these cruisers. I think they are like the sexiest things alive, to be honest. Now, Moonlight is not exactly great. I may potentially go ahead and run a little bit of Moonlight just in case. Well, a little bit of Night Search just in case. But then again, it's not particularly... No, we'll just go for that. Let's go for that. Try and get as much in the way of actual information as we can. We are quite blessed in the fact that we do have, and that's going to be the rough idea there. It might work, it might not work. What we're doing here is actually going to go ahead and move 3 submarines to this position, or I think it's about 3 or 4 submarines to this position. Can't remember exactly how many we're going to have there. We're going to have them move to that position there, just so if he does have anything sent to that area, at least we could have submarines potentially intercepted there beforehand. We do have all these ships moving out this way over here. We do have a submarine spreading out over here to actually try and cover these positions of escape, really. So we're trying to do absolutely everything that we can. It's one of these things. It's a rough time for us, really. It could have gone significantly better for us. He could have actually bombarded and really not had a good result, and we could have actually struck out. But this is it. We've got to take it as it comes. We've gotta take it. But I'd rather fight here in the Solomon Sea. I'd rather fight now than fight at a later date. Who knows? Things might go in our favor, and we might come out here looking pretty. I don't know. We'll have to take it as it comes, really. Have to hope for the absolute best. So it's a tough one. Is always a tough one. Yep, we'll hope for the best there. We are going to be moving more supply down here. What I'm going to do is have these 2 AKEs actually move over here to Ponape, and then what I'll do is have them actually transition down south so we can actually use them as potential like floating fuel bunkers, essentially. We do have these guys over here. What I'm going to do with these guys is, because they can carry about 3k supply, we do have a 106,000 supply over here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and load up that supply. So they'll be able to load up a total of 14,815 tons there. What we need to do then is essentially, however things go, ideally things go well, if he leaves the area, etc, etc, let's see what happens when it comes to it. But what we'll do then is we'll keep the kit battalion in this area then to secure it for the time being, because we are going to build it up, and we're going to build it up in such a way that it can never come back and do the same thing, or at least not easily. Not easily. We're going to make sure that when he does come back to the Solomon Sea, he's going to surely pay for it. And the incredible thing here is just how much this area has escalated in terms of just the sheer amount of blood. Sheer amount of blood and oil on the ground here. You think only a few turns ago we had, at best, 12 zeros. And we were so happy about having 12 zeros. God. Imagine if he'd come back with the carriers earlier. There wouldn't have been anything we could do. But we made him. We forced him to take a decision. It didn't go well in our favour, admittedly. We might be able to recoup some losses. Well, might be able to recoup some losses here if we can strike out. But we'll see. But yeah, hell of a time. But you look at how much we ramped things up. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. What we're going to do here then is, as well, I'm going to keep forces over here so that if he does get a little bit smart, we still have an opportunity to strike out. Even if he heads north, it gives us that ability there. I mean, what I might potentially do then, I mean, it doesn't particularly matter, because these squadrons, even if I've flown them in, they might not have the opportunity to fly, and due to the actual state of the airfield, it's a questionable state right now. So we'll have to take it as it comes there, really. We have additional aircraft that have been resized and moved into the area, so we're going to fill them out. I mean, we can rebuild what we've lost. We did lose the pilots. We did lose many of the pilots, so that's pretty damn good for us. It was rough. It was very rough, but we'll have to take it. There's not much else we can say about that. We are losing H6K Force of bloody Cap, unfortunately. But I think it's still worthwhile just to have the ability there to reach out and discover. We need to understand what's going on in the area, frankly. That is an absolutely vital requirement there. Information decides a lot of battles, so we need to have to just suck it up and replace them as they come. Which is no fun, but, well, this is it. So there we go. Have that roughly going on. What I'm doing here is moving a few thousand, about 20,000 tons of fuel, or near enough. We do have, let's see, you're over here at Babaldwab. Let me go ahead and take a look here. So I do have that SLF there. I do have these units I need to actually get moved out to the rest of our units. Which would be worthwhile doing. So I think what I'm going to do then is actually load up those piecemeal units, and then we can at least get them moving out. Have you remained here? Yes, I do have another aviation unit. Let's see, these base forces over here then. See, first base force. Okay, so we need to get first base force moved as well then. Okay. So I'll get you loaded up then. I don't know if we'll be able to load it all up, but we'll hope. So what I'll do then is add on first base force, which is actually already in there. Okay. I thought there was another base force that was broken up. No, I'm just looking at that one. Okay. Right, so we have base force over here, which does have that aviation support and naval support. I'm going to go ahead and actually load up the 4th JNAF, because we do need more engineers elsewhere. Low troops only. Okay, get them moving out. Yeah, what we're going to do over this way then is load those troops. We also do have Genyo Maru. She's going to be heading back with the escort by Yabari, Fuyo, and Hasu. We have over here 7,950 tons of fuel, or units of fuel over here. So I'm going to get that fuel moving. I'm going to get that supply moving. I'm going to have supply moved from over here to Niveltok. These guys are carrying just shy of 7,000 tons of supply, so I'm going to have that moved down this way. And then what we're going to do is essentially build the area up, and build it up in such a way that he will not be able to repeat the defeats that we suffered here. He will not be able to inflict those upon us, really. It's a difficult task, and I think a lot of people underestimate how difficult it can be to play as Japan. So we have a very tenuous grip in this area. I mean, we're doing better than most players would be doing at this point in time, because we actually have a production capacity that is capable of replacing said losses very quickly. In terms of pilot losses, it's a different story, but it's a different story really for everybody, to be honest. It's not easy. We've lost pilots due to the MKB incidents, which is a shame, but he's a good player. I mean, I'm going to say he's definitely given us a hide-in at sea. But this is the issue. We're always being forced into situations where we don't like it at the moment in time. I mean, these days will come to an end, and obviously then will later come the counterattacks, but we'll see then. Ideally, we'll be the defender in a case. I mean, we were the defender here, but it's just a case of we just didn't have enough airfields to actually support each other, really. That's the difficult part. You want to, like, concentrate to be able to hit out there with enough force. Had we had twice the amount of actual fighters, then that'd have been good. We could have actually gone out and struck him pretty damn hard in the initial engagement, and that would have been potentially very telling. But yeah, it's a tough one, really. Gotta take it as we come. Gotta take it as we go, really. So I do have forces moving around this area. I'm going to move elements of the 15th Naval Guard around here to isolate this base and ultimately deal with it. That'd be ideal. I might even potentially have the rest of the 15th just move up on top of it, really. But we'll make sure it's cut off first, I guess. So what I'll do then is actually begin to move here. We still have an aviation unit here to hold the base. But we're going to get ready for the invasion of Java. It's actually quite amusing. I had really quite overestimated the strength of Java's defenses, to be honest, in terms of actual raw AV. I had thought it was something in the way of like 800, apparently it's less than that, which is awesome. So we do have an actual really nice plan in how we want to deal with this, and how we want to deal with Java. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the drawing tool. It's going to take a little bit of time to actually get it into position, but if and when it does go ahead, we're actually going to be in a position where we can take multiple bases and actually secure multiple points in Java very quickly. Now, I was being stingy and actually thinking, oh yeah, I'm just going to use these regiments to go ahead and take Northern Sumatra. In all honesty, I can do that by taking the forces at Georgetown. So we're going to have the 2 regiments move from Palembang down here to, I'm just going to say East Haven, because I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it. And we're going to have the SNLF units move over this way. So we'll have about 400 or so AV that'll be positioned over here at East Haven. That I can then have transition across over here to Batavia. What I'll do as well then is I'm going to have paratroopers land at this base. And what we'll do then is we're going to bring down the units that compose the 56th Division. We'll stop over here then to actually go ahead and pick up the rest of the 56th Division and potentially reform it here at Benjamin. And then what we're going to do then is hug the coastline and move in over here. We do have other paratroopers as well. They're going to be moved over here to Benjamin. So what I'll be able to do then is seize Semarang by air as well. And potentially other bases as well if we so wish to do so. But what we're going to do here then is actually be in a position where we can seize multiple bases all at the same time and really put a massive amount of pressure on. I was in a position where I thought we might have needed additional forces. We're quite fortunate as well because I still have another 2 regiments over here. There's essentially another division over here. We do have the elements from Saipan that we might bring this way, but they're not going to arrive in time, so I'll probably keep them over by Saipan so we can actually have them available for a wake landing, which is also going to be harder than we initially thought, unfortunately, but we'll have to take it as it goes on that one, really. But yeah, we're going to be in a position where we can actually secure a good number of bases very, very quickly. I think Batavia, initially I was going to go ahead and actually attack only Sorbaya at first, but I'm thinking, you know what, we're going to go hard on this. He's got the units over here, he's only got 12 there, he's got about 8 over here. Batavia's going to be tougher, but we can actually go ahead and actually isolate Batavia within really one turn, which is very important. So we could go ahead and isolate Batavia, then move into Batavia, because we do have the actual roads there to help us facilitate that. And then we'd be able to move in there. And essentially silence his major base in Northern Sumatra, Northern Java very, very quickly. At that point then, because we'd have Semarang seized as well via air, we could have forces actually loaded back aboard ships and have them moved out pretty damn rapidly, to be honest. Or even potentially have them march down. We'd benefit from having the rail lines as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So if we seize Batavia, then we'd be in a position to rail down towards Semarang and seize things there. And what we'll be able to do then is we do have another 2 regiments. What I'll do is have those other 2 regiments sail down to Semarang as well. So we'll be able to have a 2nd regiment over here. Well, 2 regiments over here then to hold that. We'd have the paratroopers move out towards this base over here to seize it if we could. And then secure that. So what we'd be able to do then is have a hold in action over here with the paratroopers and regiments. We do have armoured units as well that I could bring in to Java that would allow us to move around very quickly and seize additional bases, really keep the pressure on him. Obviously, armour would be very great over here, would be awesome over here. We'll be using the 8th Tank Regiment for that one, really. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be nice and brutal. What I'm going to do is actually use the Key 43s over here. I do currently have them over here at Makassar. What I'm going to do then is actually have them really used over here. So what I'm going to do then is actually... I'll leave 1 detachment here for the time being. But I'm going to have 2 detachments move over to Benjamin, to ready themselves up, essentially. Yes, I mean, this is why I was actually delaying in terms of Java, because I thought it was actually a hell of a lot harder than it actually was. So that's really cool. That's really good for us. So we'll have Ember and Cap over here. We'll get assets moved down this way, and it's going to look good. Gonna look good. Right, ideally everything goes ahead there, but it should. I mean, this is it. We do have a whole lot of capacity over here. We have a lot of actual... I mean, we have 6 heavy cruisers over here. So we can definitely support operations over here in the northern part of Java Sea better, much, much better than we can over here at Surabaya. The issue is at Surabaya, he has 14 bombers. He also has 15 bombers over here, but no fighters at this moment in time. We have East Haven. We also have Palembang over here to support operations. So we can knock them out and suppress them. And that's going to be the name of the game here. What I'm going to be doing here as well is I'm going to continue to run escort and attack the base there. So what I'm going to do then is keep up the detection on Batavia. Keep up detection over here on this base. And then I'm going to go ahead and run reconnaissance over Merrick as well. We're going to get ready for the invasion. And the invasion is going to be freaking awesome, and it does go ahead, really. It's going to be essentially pretty brutal. So that's going to be very nice. So, I mean, this is it. We are suffering at sea, but at least things in the land campaign are going well enough for us. And that's pretty cool. We just have that going for us, which is very nice. I mean, going to have these assets moving out. What I've gone ahead and done is actually move these G4Ms over here to Palembang. I've got the other G4M ones over here at Bangkok. And I'm going to have them just rest for the time because they've transferred in. I'm going to go ahead and put a few reserves in there to get them up to strength sooner rather than later. So I'm going to give them time to rest there. What I've gone ahead and done then is actually over here. I think I'm going to repeat the settings. Yeah, we'll have them both long-range cap, I think. Yeah, we'll have them both do that. I'm going to have them both long-range cap over here. The actual forces, the Thai forces, because they did come under attack previously. So what I'm going to do then is use 30 zeros then to try and lay down some sort of trap there. I mean, maybe I'm coming in too high, to be fair. Maybe I'm coming in too high. What I'm going to quickly do here then is take a look at when he attacked there. Yeah, it was a hell of a busy time, wasn't it? Hell of a busy time. Let's see. God, it's hard to find stuff. Oh, we had that shock attack that went well. You know, I can't remember where Sambas is. I mean, we took it and we, like, took out some aircraft. Just can't remember. Oh, oh, right, yeah, I remember now. I remember now. So that's good, we took out some aircraft there. That's cool. I didn't even notice that during the actual turn resolution because we're quite busy, weren't we? Let's see here. Near typing. Yep, that type went well. Finally finished them off. Let's see. Right, here we go. So he came in there really quite low. He didn't have an escort this time round. So I think what we'll do then is we'll go about... I think we've got about 11... About 11,000 feet then, I think. Give it a go. We'll have them rest then afterwards. I'm going to have more engineers actually transferred over here. More aviation transferred over here and really boosted up, to be honest. More AA too. Definitely more AA. Like right now we've got a few 75s. I'm going to get more 75s moved over there. I'm going to take the actual AA from Cotabaru and have it shifted over here to Chiang Mai. But that should be good. We will have our Thai forces actually arrive in position at Bagu next turn. Well, the vast majority of them. There's still going to be some... Yep, this guy is not going to arrive there yet, so we can use him for the cap trap. So it will mean that he'll probably... Well, but again, it depends. The air attack will go ahead beforehand. But we'll see. We should be in a position then to attack and destroy the forces over here at Bagu, which should be quite good for us. As I say, I'm looking forward to putting pressure on him. We're going to try to seize Rangoon as quickly as we can, really. Ideally it goes well, but we'll see. As soon as Singapore is taken, I'm going to launch an attack today. I was contemplating potentially having another day's rest, but I think it's worthwhile just going for an attack today. We will have about 1,000 plus assault value, maybe closer to 1,100 actually. So we do have 125 movement in there, so we should have maybe around about 1,100 AV then attacking when it does arrive there. So that should ideally do it for us. Right. So tanks are planning over here as well. They're planning, yep. Okay, so ideally that'll work out. We still have additional forces moving down if it doesn't. I'm not too sure. We should be attacking with a very large force. It'll be the largest force that we've attacked with in terms of AV since we started here. And it will have armor. So what we'll do then if it doesn't actually succeed is we'll wait a few days and then shock attack. And we should be able to win it then. So that'll look quite good. I do have 23,000 tons of supply moving over here to the Marine, which is going to be good. The ACM that went into Singapore was a unfortunate mistake. I must have forgot about it. It must have confused it with one of these units over here, really, and not thought anything of it. But in a way, it's actually helped us out because it has revealed where the minefields are for the most part, which will make it far easier on the DMSs when it actually does come to clearing it. So that's not too bad. I've got the AVs over here, but I'm going to have them shifted out once that sub moves off, to be honest. I'm going to have them shifted out elsewhere. I'm going to go ahead and capture these bases over here shortly, but we do have the majority of them. That base might actually fall to us in the future, we'll see. I'm going to run reconnaissance over Batangas as well, to try and figure out what he has here. If he... I think he has both divisions here, both of the Filipino divisions. So if he has the aviation unit here that I think starts here, then we should be able to take that no problem, and then actually cut him off in Manila, which would be quite nice. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to run reconnaissance, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, they're going to defend there, that's cool. Yep. We're going to wait one more day. We're going to bombard, but we're going to wait one more day before we attack again at Clark. Class going well for us, really. If we can keep up that damage there, I'll be quite happy. I'm moving additional assets this way to Saigon from Luzon over here that aren't being used. Going to have some additional forces moved out of the area here. We will have this base force actually move south, ideally tomorrow to begin, which will be good to help increase the amount of AV. I've moved more bombers over here to Hong Kong, so what I'm going to do is actually have them shift, ideally then into Luzon from here. We'll be able to increase the amount of bombers that we have then, and just try and put more pressure on there, really. So that should be quite nice. Sendai is heading over here to Yokohama Yokosuka. She's going to be used to actually form a task force centered around the light carrier Xiaohou. So we'll have Xiaohou, Kuma, Sendai, Umikaze, Ninohi, Kikuzuki, Mokizuki. We'll have that going well for us, and then that's going to be shifted to the north to Panamashirojima, where we're going to go ahead and launch the Aleutian operation there, really. The good news is he probably will have a fourth carrier at some point in the future, but we are in a position now where his carriers are a known quantity, we know where they are. So we can actually go for operations elsewhere, which is not too bad. So that's a pretty rough go at it at the moment. Didn't go our way, but hey, that's why we play, right? At least over here in China, we're going to have some success. We're going to launch a shock attack over here with the armor, and then move on toward Nanyang and try to move up this road as quickly as we can, if we can. Or is it going to try to take control here? We did have a very nice result, obviously, over here at Chengchao. That went very well. We lost practically nobody. Because obviously we surrounded it, so they all surrendered as well. They're going to move out here with a couple divisions. They're going to be arriving next turn here. So I'll go ahead and shock attack that unit. I'm going to launch a shock attack over here as well. It's a mountain, but it's one unit versus 3. We should be able to manage it. But then again, actually, I'm going to go with the deliberate. I don't know what I'm dealing with, so I don't want to go in head and it like maybe be like a core. We'll take it at... Yeah. I'd rather know what it is first and foremost, really. We are lacking reconnaissance in China due to the fact that I did move the majority of it out, but hey, that's fine. I've got the 2nd Ranger Regiment. That's going to be moved from Kyushu. I'm going to have it move, I think, to Karabaru. Or we might have it move elsewhere. We're going to have it shifted. I've shifted the actual transportation aircraft to Saipan. So we can actually have them shifted out into the Pacific. So they'll come in handy. So they're going to go ahead and rest there and just recuperate. So, yeah, we're doing all we can here. I mean, this is a problem. There's only so much we can do, but man, we are putting up a good fight. And he's going to know that. He's going to know that we're putting up a good fight. Let's go ahead and just check on things before we do go ahead. I'm going to check on the R&D here. See if we have any additional Key 83 facilities going our way. Let's go the other way. Yeah. Ideally, we can claim back some victory points, but we'll see. So we've got the facility over here at Tokyo. Okayama. Mabashi. Or Maibashi. Trying to think how to pronounce that correctly. But there we go. Looking pretty good, man. I'm glad to have those facilities. Ideally, we get more, but we are getting there. We are getting that progress. I'll tell you what, I cannot wait until we have the Iceycrome at the end of 42. That's going to really help us out. It's going to really help to actually keep us going for a while, to be honest. It'll help us just retain some edge, which would be great. So it's a faster Zero, but it's also an armored Zero. It's also a Zero that has more firepower. It's less maneuverable, it's less range, but it's got armor, it's got the firepower. It's something that'll help us out pretty much for a while, actually. We need any kind of like advantage we can get, so having like an armored Zero would be really nice. It definitely helps us out to a great degree. So there we go. I don't think there's much more we can do here. Ideally, if things go our way, it would be great if they did. But we are taking a risk here. There is a potential risk that we are intercepted by So's forces, but he doesn't have much in the way of ammunition. We do. We're fresh. He's ideally not. We're gonna hope for the best, but this is it. It's that saying, really. The only thing that's worse than doing the wrong thing is doing nothing, really. Gotta hope for the best. I hope you guys are enjoying it, because sometimes it really is. It's harsh. Like I took it badly in the actual replay, because it's disappointing, really. Because this is you actually do get an attachment. You think, yes, come on, like let's do this, and then it doesn't go your way. You're like, god damn. You feel the losses there. So we'll see. Is that all you got? That's going to be our mentality, really. Is that it? Well, come on, but let's keep dancing. As it float like a butterfly. Essentially sting like a butterfly, because we're like... it's like a butterfly trying to take on a tank at the moment. Difficult. But hey, who knows? We might find... we might find some desire or something like that. Okay. There we go. Oh, have I just saved that? Bugger, I meant to save it as an end turn. Oh, well, at least it's appropriately named. So a big thank you to all my subscribers, a big thank you to all of my viewers, and a big thank you to my patrons. I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. We're learning a lot. There's a lot of lessons that we're going to learn and we're going to be able to apply to future campaigns, and that's going to be cool. I hope you guys are learning lessons as well, because my god, we're getting it rough at the moment. Until next time, Tena Haika Banzai, Oyasuminasai. Jane. Sayonara. This is me, XTRG, signing out, and have a great day.